Hey guys, welcome you all. I hope you all are doing well. In this particular video, we will talk about how we can design a Kubernetes cluster and what are the prerequisites we need to follow, or we can say there is a certain template we need to follow to design any system. So once you will learn this specific template, or we can say we will prepare the mindset how we can design a Kubernetes cluster. So in this video, I'm going to show you step by step why it is required nowadays, why I'm focusing more on DevOps technologies, or we can say that especially Kubernetes. The reason is very simple. This is right now high paying jobs you can get it through this specific skill set. And you know what is actually the Kubernetes is? So the Kubernetes is portable, extensible, and open source platform to manage containerized workload, or we can say the services where we can host our containerized application. So the thing is, why it is more important nowadays? Because if you are in any role, either you are developer or admin or you are architect, nowadays most of the, not every I can say, but most of the applications are moving to the container, and to manage those containers we need some orchestration tools. So we have Kubernetes for that. If I'll show you where you can apply for the jobs once you have the Kubernetes skill set. So let me tell you, first job here you can apply on this job, that is for backend engineer. If you will see this job, I'll share all the links in the description box, so follow that one. If you have the skill set like Kubernetes, Docker, Python, and TypeScript, then you can apply for this job. And this job is remote job for the Europe location. It is from the Switzerland, okay, and you can get the yearly package of 50 to 60k euro. Next job we are having cloud engineer. For this job also we require Kubernetes, AWS, Terraform, Docker, and Python. So these are the skill set which I am going to cover in my upcoming video, and how we can start from the scratch and to the advanced level. And this job is for the Singapore location. So let's talk about the next job, that is for senior Java developer. If you know the Java and you want to become a senior Java developer, at this point of time, DevOps skill set is must for everyone who is working in development. Okay, so for this profile also we need Kubernetes, AWS, Docker, Python, SQL, Java, and you can earn between 70 to 80k in euro. Next opening for the DevOps engineer, that is also remote, and it's like a remote hybrid in this case. Okay, it is for the Berlin location, and you can earn between 70 to 80k. And here again you need AWS, Kubernetes, Terraform, Docker, Go, SQL, and C. So these are the few profiles I show you. I will share the link in the description box, so you just check the jobs and apply accordingly and see the package what they are getting, okay, for this profile. So that's why I'm focusing more on this one, and I just want to help you as much as I can. Just looking for your support. Just click on subscribe button and like this video so it can reach to many people and we can help more people together. So let's start from one by one how we can start designing a Kubernetes cluster. So guys, now let's talk about designing a Kubernetes cluster. So the first step for any configuration or any design, either it is normal infrastructure you are designing or any system you are designing, so there should be a purpose for this one. So we need to understand the purpose for which we are going to design our Kubernetes system. So Kubernetes cluster can be useful in multiple ways, like either you are preparing for or creating the cluster for your learning purpose, or we can say the education purpose. Either you just want to showcase that how it works, so you can create the cluster for that one, or you can create the cluster for your development environment, or we can say the test environment. Before any release into the production, we always follow the procedure to implement it in our development environment, so we can use that one also. And in the last, the main thing why we are learning these things, because we want to do it in our production environment, so we can. So these are the multiple purposes we are having. Either you are preparing it for education purpose, dev or test environment, or your production. So first you need to identify what is your purpose to create Kubernetes cluster. Next, once we have decided, okay, we are going to do it for production, either for test or education, then next we need to focus it where we want to create this cluster, either you want to use your on-prem infrastructure or you want to use the cloud infrastructure for this one. So there are two ways. Okay, either if you are going for the on-prem, then you also can decide either you want to go for the physical infrastructure or virtual. But here we are just trying to understand where we actually want to implement it. Either we want it on premises infrastructure, that means the infrastructure which is belongs to our organization and we have full control on that one. Next we have the cloud infrastructure. Okay, in the cloud also there are two ways we can do it. Either we can use the servers, take the servers and install it from the scratch, or we can have the option for managed solutions. So in that case we can use any of the cloud services, either it is GCP, Microsoft Azure or AWS. They are having their own managed service related to the Kubernetes. If we will talk about the Google Cloud, then we have the GKE, that is Google Kubernetes Engine. If we will talk about AWS, we have EKS, that is Elastic Kubernetes Service. And if we will talk about in Microsoft Azure, we have AKS, that is Azure Kubernetes Service. So once we have decided the purpose, we have decided where we want to create it. Next, we need to think about the workload. That is the actual thing, because whatever infrastructure we are designing, whatever system we are designing, whatever cluster we are designing for the applications. That is our end goal. And what type of application we are hosting here? We are hosting containerized application. So we need to understand first thing, how many application we want to host on this cluster. So first we need to identify the number of applications. Then we will look deeper into the applications, either it is web application or big data application or analytics application. So we need to understand what kind of application we are going to host on this cluster. So in the third step, when we are determining the workload, we need to understand how many applications, what kind of application it is, and what is the actual requirement of our application. So if you relate it to in our general application, we have two types of application mainly. Some of them are the CPU specific, means intensive, where they require more processors in comparison to the memory, or it is memory intensive. So we have two types of, if you will go in any cloud, okay, so you will have the t-shirt size, that is the configuration size of that particular instance, or we can in simple term for the server. So either you want more CPU or the more memory, or it is balanced. That you need to understand, because this is the information you should have beforehand, and otherwise what will happen, you will design the system blindly and in the end it will get at some issues. So we need to be very careful while designing the system, because what happens when you design any system in any organization, you design it now, but it will implement at later point of time, either after 6 months, 8 months or 1 year. But whenever it will be implemented and it gets some issue, you will be caught by that time, and it's really tough to change the design at that point of time, because we have done everything and it got approved, all the infrastructure got approved, all the licenses has been purchased. So we need to be very careful beforehand. We should have the understanding about the application resource requirement. Next thing, we need to understand how much communication will come, or we can say the traffic will generate or will come to this particular application. Either it will be heavy traffic throughout the days, or it will have the heavy traffic only on the weekends, like the burst traffic. In cloud terminology, it's a burst traffic. So if you see like our Amazon website or Flipkart website, okay, they have the huge traffic where there is sale is going on, right? Or if we will talk about the Netflix, YouTube and all, at that time, if it is entertainment videos or the movies, most of the traffic they get it over the weekend or on the holidays, because when the people are free, they used to watch these things, right? So they have the burst traffic during that time. Here the burst is VURSD. So this is how we need to understand about the workload. Once we have everything ready, then we are in a situation to design a proper Kubernetes cluster. So what are the requirements we should have? We should know the purpose, we should know the infrastructure, like where we want to create it, and next thing, what is the workload type we are having, which we are going to host on this cluster. So guys, that's it in this video. I hope you find this video helpful. So far we have covered the high level of our designing a Kubernetes cluster. In next video we will talk about more deeper and understand what type of setup we can have, how many nodes we require for each section what we covered, and what are the things available from the cloud provider. So many things need to cover for this designing a Kubernetes cluster. So if you want to learn more, then click on subscribe button, share with your friends, and like this video to support me. See you in next video. Happy learning.